What's up guys, Viper here. Thought I'd give you a second video on the character that I'm currently having a lot of fun on, which is that Ice Shot Deadeye that I mentioned in the last video. We've gotten it up to level 85 at the moment. I'm thinking this might be a character that I'm going to push to 90 and then try something else. I do have a character that's like level 20 already. I love trying new builds, trying new things, but I'm going to stick with this character for a little bit longer, see if I can get the damage up even more. So I thought maybe I'd just go over what we're doing, passive skill tree, the gear, and the skill setup at the moment. So as far as the passive skill tree goes, we are still rocking we've swapped over to far shot instead of point blank because from some testing that I've been doing, it looks like the projectiles that come from Ice Shot count as coming from you, not from the arrow. Please let me know if that's not how it works, but from my testing, it seemed to do more damage whenever we were on far shot than point blank. We also have our endless munitions for our extra projectile, and then we've gotten our gathering winds as our third. I have been thinking lately about grabbing a bow that has a +2 arrows, so a dual string bow with bow attacks fire an additional arrow, so that I can unspec this for the time being and go into this for a lot more defense, playing a lot more defensive build, just to avoid one-shots and things like that. And then grab this as our fourth ascendancy if we ever get that. Now, as far as the passive skill tree goes, we have basically gone for the bow nodes and then any projectile speed, projectile damage we can get, and thrown on some elemental damage as well. I have been messing around with this wheel right here. I want to make a build that makes use of charms a lot, but I just don't think they're good enough at the moment, so I'm probably going to be speccing out of this and moving more towards a crit-based build and using something like, cast on crit, Eye of Winter, and things like that for bossing, because at the moment the clear feels amazing. I'm going to show a video at the end of this. It's either like a T12, T13 that we're farming, with like our bow is good, but it's not incredible, and then our quiver is actually pretty damn good. So we could get an upgraded bow, and to be honest, we could have a little bit better gear, but we're still clearing the maps and everything fine. There are a couple of like tanky rares every now and then, like the invulnerability aura, the proximal tangibility, things like that that can kind of mess with the builds clear, but you can still kill them normally. So what I've been trying to do lately is invest in all of my defenses. So I've gotten all of our evasion that we can, and then I'm going to be going into acrobatics. We have a chest piece with about 1150 evasion, and with all of our tailwind stacks up, we're at about 90% evasion, so we'll be grabbing this right here soon to drop that evasion, but making sure that we can evade everything, including spell hits and AoEs and things like that. As far as where this tree is going to be going, like I said, I'm probably going to play this till level 90, so I've got another 5 points, and then I'm probably going to be respecking out of all of these up until here, so I've probably got like another 10 points, and what we'll be doing is most likely going into crit, so we'll be grabbing this node right here, we'll probably be coming over here and grabbing these nodes, and then at some point I might try this out, because there are some times where I feel like the arrows don't really hit, and then it screws up the projectiles, especially on things like evasive monsters or on just like higher tier rare monsters or magic monsters. The arrows will sometimes go through, and then you don't get any of your projectiles. So I might be going for this right here as well, which will give us a little bit more crit hit chance in addition to some accuracy. And I'll let you guys know how that goes, because this will probably be my second to last build update on this video, or on this character. But yeah, basically we're just going all in on evasion, proj speed, proj damage, and then as far as the jewels go, still the same thing. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but we have just as many jewels as we can with the 7% chance to chain it from an additional time from terrain. This makes it so that the clear is a lot nicer, it'll bounce off the walls and everything, and the chain can happen after the fork, because chain says that they cannot chain from enemies after they have been forked, but they can still chain from terrain after they have been forked. So it does not mess with the idea that we are still using the fork idea, um, which I'll go over that in the skill gem setup. But these two nodes right here have been really fun to play with. Basically forcing ourselves to have, if every arrow hits from our initial shot, we have 6 forking arrows that will then go out, and like even more ice shot will come out. So yeah, that's the passive skill tree. Moving on to the skills. Never use basic attack. I don't know why it's bound, but I just have a couple of things in here that I was thinking about, like gem swapping if I needed to. As far as Ice Shot goes, we're running Fork, like I said. This right here is kind of what I had the idea of the build for, was those 2 nodes in the passive skill tree that give you a 100% increased chance, or 100% chance to fire an additional projectile when it's forking. So this means that your 3 projectiles turn into 6 when it's forking. We've got martial tempo in there just for more attack speed. I have been playing around with the idea of putting something in there that would just up our damage entirely instead of attack speed, because upping your attack speed does up your damage, but I'm talking about something that would actually up the number. So that's kind of something that I'll keep you updated on the last video. We've got cold infusion to go ahead and make this so that it's 95% fizz to cold, and then we also are running primal armament. If we get the 6th link, we'll probably go for inspiration, just because we still need another 2 levels on this, and it's already getting kind of mana issues. Like in the end of the video, I'll show a little bit of me running through a T12, T13 map or something, and you'll see whenever I'm on hard to kill enemies, I do kind of run out of mana. So using things like inspiration or finding a little bit of mana on your gear would be very helpful. What we use to basically deal a shit ton of damage very quickly is Barrage still, with 20% quality. Makes it so that once we get this to level 20, the repeats will actually deal 0% less damage, and since we have the premeditation on there, it'll be 15% more damage multiplier overall. And we're running perpetual charge with ingenuity just to reduce that cooldown rate with that 15% more damage premeditation, and then murderous intent. This is just so that we can call things if we are shooting into a massive pack or something like that. And then the Frostwall Stormcaller arrow is still very much what I use to kind of kill harder to kill enemies very quickly, because the shock feels incredible. In the last video, I'm pretty sure I shouted out the person that I saw do this. I believe it was Air Zero. But yes, we're still running the same setup here. Frostwall with Arcane Tempo for the more attack speed, Spell Cascade, and Glacier. And then we have Stormcaller with Overcharge and Lightning Pin with Execrate. So this is just so that we ensure that we get a shock, making our damage go way up. I still have Hypothermia spec'd. I never really use it unless it's on a boss, because basically what we have here is we have Heavy Frost anointed on our amulet. What Heavy Frost does is it makes it so that you can ignore non-negative elemental resists when an enemy is frozen. You're going to be freezing every white mob, every blue mob, and like most rare mobs a lot, so this will always work. But for bosses, whenever you freeze them and then they have the increased freeze resistance, that's whenever sometimes I'll cast Hypothermia just to go ahead and pop that and get their resistances down, because I can no longer act as if they had none, right? So that's the only time I've been using it. I have been thinking about other amulets or other anoints that I feel like might be better, but I haven't come up with anything yet. As far as our auras go, Herald of Ice is incredible. Magnified Effect, Cold Mastery with Ellie Focus has been a lot of fun. Herald of Ice is probably going to get nerfed, so have your fun with it before they completely neuter it. Combat Frenzy with Profusion, Cannibalism, and Vitality, just for more sustain. And then Wind Dancer, we have Blind, Culling Strike, and Clarity. So the Blind is just there so that whenever it actually does proc, everything around you isn't going to immediately kill you. Culling Strike will just go ahead and get rid of anything that is kind of surviving from a pack that you've already tried to clear out. And then Clarity obviously will go ahead and get you that mana regen. Wind Dancer, I would say it's very important for you to go ahead and quality this up to 4, or quality this up to 20, so that you can get an extra stage, which will go ahead and give you 19% more evasion entirely. When it comes down to the level of this, it seems like level 17 is where 19% stays until level 21. and then I believe it's level 22 when it goes up to 20%. So whether or not you want to go ahead and push that up even more, this is only a dex-based skill, so with us being a ranger, you will be stacking a lot of dex. So if you want to go up to 20% more evasion, you can. At the moment, I've been running 19, and it feels fine. If I can find a source of, basically, you can find a source of plus X to all melee skill gems, that affects Wind Dancer. So if you can find yourself a +2 pair of like +2 gloves, +1 gloves, or something like that, you can get yourself to level 21 pretty easily, I'd say, and then you should be at the 20% more evasion per stage, which at 4 stages, that's 4% more evasion. So that'll make you even harder to hit. So this is our main source of defense, is just straight up evasion. As you can see, we only have 1800 life and like very little energy shield, and I don't really die very often. So so that goes over the skills. Next, to go over the gear. So basically, I would say just get as much evasion on your chest as you can. You want to grab yourself something with, obviously, that's an evasion based expert, and I would say go for at least 100% increased evasion. And then for you to be able to run the auras that I'm running and the supports, you will need to have something on your gear with at least a 50 spirit roll. So that could be a solar amulet with an affix of spirit, or it could be a chest piece like this. But other than that, we're just trying to completely cap resists. And then we are also just looking for a bow with attack speed, fizz damage with fizz percent damage, and then I'm messing around with the idea of +1 of all projectiles, because we're going to be getting +2 of all our projectiles from primed quiver, from a quiver anyway. So whether or not you really need the +1 or the +2, I don't think so, but it would be helpful. That's the only thing I'll say about it, because the +1 is a suffix, which is something that you can either use for... The +1 for all projectile skills can either be replaced with bow attacks, fire an additional arrow. If you want 4 arrows or 5 arrows, like, you can stack this how you want. Or it can be replaced with crit hit, crit damage, attack speed, or the +1 level of all projectiles. What I'm currently running is the +1 just to test it out, and it's been feeling really good. In addition to some crit hit chance and some attack speed. And then this bow is actually pretty decent in the fact that we got 150% increased physical damage. We don't have a flat fizz roll, which is kind of sad, and we rolled kind of a mid accuracy rating affix. But as far as the quiver goes, you want to go ahead and grab yourself anything with a decent amount of projectile speed, increased damage with bow skills, and +2 all projectile skills. I would also go ahead and try to grab something that gives mana, either mana leech or mana per enemy killed. And then personally, I would go for some accuracy rating as well, because like I said, sometimes the arrows will miss, and then your entire Ice Shot will then screw up where the projectiles will be. And that never feels good. So maybe grab yourself a little bit of accuracy rating on quiver, and then all the other things that I mentioned. Other than that, you just want to cap resists, get some life where you can, and then if you want to, there is another thing you can do here where you can grab this node right here, +2 evasion per 1 maximum energy shield on equipped helmet, and then just get a massive energy shield helmet. I have been messing around with that idea, and I do have the points for it. Technically, it's just whether or not I want to invest in more damage right now, or I want to invest in more defenses. And as I said, right now I've been feeling kind of tanky. I don't really get hit very often. If I do, I get my tailwind back very quickly, so it's like it's not super problematic. So if you are feeling a little bit squishy, or you want a little bit more safe bet, go ahead and grab these nodes over here. Just travel through here, grab these nodes, and then get yourself a very big like energy shield helmet that will go ahead and help with your acrobatics. Okay, and then like I said, I'm going to go ahead and throw on a clip from my stream the other day where I was doing like a T12 or a T13 with this current setup, and it's pretty smooth. Like this has been feeling really good. I'm going to play this until 90 most likely, and then do a final update on it once I get some better gear and once I get my final ascendancy. If I do get my final ascendancy, I don't know how important it's going to be, but yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that video. Thanks, guys. Peace out. Don't want my ideas to be sniped. It's dumb. It's very dumb, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So what I might do is, if I can't get the affiliate or anything before then, I'm having a buddy of mine make me a Discord server, so I'll probably just put a game in there for it. And then just have Discord pulled up while I'm streaming when that happens. I'm trying to think of a good name for my Discord server. You know, because I'm Viper, snake based. I was thinking the pit, like snake pit, so maybe that. But it also works for, so basically the reason why I chose the name Viper when I was like 10 years old is because I loved the Dodge Viper, the car, and I also thought snakes were cool, so I was like, Viper, it works on both sides. So the pit could even work as like a pit stop crew for a car. I think that might be a good one. Dude did not want to get frozen. I was stupid. I thought I could do something, but I couldn't do that.
I need more mana.
Well, I'm giving you more mana. Do your thing. Do your thing, chicken wing. Holy shit. Periodic lightning explosions, huh? Those are fun. Oh, there's been like 3 rares right next to each other in this map. Shrimp, don't act like if I had that other chest piece with 140 more life, don't even say that. I would not have been that close to death. I still would have been just as close, right? Surely.
Don't mind if I do.
If I can't sell that thing for more than like 3 divs, then I'm probably just gonna keep it and keep using it. Because that chest piece is nuts, bro. Or what I might do. Now this is crazy, but since now I have a backup that's got even like a higher evasion rating, I might, like, if I can't sell it within a certain amount of time, I might just vol it and see if I can, or not vol it, chaos it and see if I can get rid of the bad percent evasion roll. You know? But, I mean, that's risky, because I could get rid of the 200 plus freaking health. I could get rid of the 35 cold res, the 30 fire, or like the 20 chaos. Hey, there's no voice. Voices don't say anything. Was it also you in PoE1 that was like my clip where I screwed up multiple, what was it? Alva missions like at once, where I was trying to like farm the hell out of essence in Alva. Well, that's why, is because I'm pretty sure one of the clips that we had one time was you telling me that I forgot to do something in an Alva. Like, what are they called? What's that league mechanic called? I don't like that league mechanic that much. I don't know why I'm blanking on it right now. My brain no work. I'm sick. Incursion, that's what it's called, yeah. You remember whenever they had that bug where you could stack like 20 essences inside of an incursion?